Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching GeekCast, everything sci-fi, fantasy, and geek culture. I'm Michael 7 Michael. We've got the one and only Davion Bussey and Andrew Harrell, the stomper from the West Coast. I don't know.
New moniker added to the list, I guess.
Yeah. So, shout out to everyone that's been waiting for new episodes. This will be our first episode with a new time. We actually went from like channel 64, like 154. Now we're on channel 20, which is great. In Suffolk County and Nassau County, Long Island. Of course, we're still in Brooklyn and in Manhattan. And of course, the internets. You can catch us on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok. I guess I gotta edit stuff for TikTok now, right?
So like what, 10 seconds each? That's like the attention span on there, isn't it?
Yeah. So
we love you, TikTok.
Yeah, we love you. So first, shout out to the one and the only, the voice of Darth Vader, the talented, and actually he's a EGOT, right? EGOT winner?
I think so, yeah. It's like when you get all the awards lined up into one, they form the EGOT. I think that's the name of it.
Sheesh. Go ahead, Dave.
Among it's the Tony Award, an Oscar, an Emmy, and then I forget what the other one is.
Wait a minute. Hold on. There's the Tony. Let me see. It's the Tony. I think he got a. Did he get a Grammy too?
Isn't that music? Don't you get a Grammy for music?
Yes, but I think that's part of the EGOT.
I don't think so.
I'd have to check. I have to double check on that.
Either way, James Earl Jones. You know,
the legend.
Rest in power, rest in peace.
The legend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now that we got all that positive stuff out, let's talk about the Acolyte, shall we?
Oh God, you just waste no time. We have to say goodbye to the living legend and dive.
You just rushed to it.
That is modern day Star Wars. All right, so be it.
So to be fair, there was a lot of heat before the show even came out. There was like, you know, some racial stuff and some sexist stuff. And hold that right there. Then the actual show came out. And a lot of fans, you could say justifiably, were not too happy with it. And then they canceled for season 2. They're not going to do a season 2. So there have been uproars. Some fans are like, oh, this is sexism, this is racism. And I just want to get both of your feelings on that. Is it fair to say, oh, it's these things, or was it the quality of the production? It's justified to cancel season 2.
I would say pretty much, if it was never in the lore, was it in the lore?
Bits and pieces, not enough.
90% of it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the problem. I think part of the problem was the lore aspect of it. It had nothing to. Some people used racism as a scapegoat. Others used sexism, but it was pretty much the lore aspect that basically hurt that show. So don't think of it as, oh, that's another group of people that's just, they're just them, that we just don't recognize. And then you had those that actually read upon the lore, and it didn't follow up. Now, if you was transitioning into having its own set of story, then yeah, this was a perfect thing. But I think it should have slowly been introduced in a way where probably they were featured in one of the shows like Mandalorian, or probably in one of the Star Wars films or something like that, so that people can be like, Okay, or in the books, really.
Well,
What you said
be
was
more
correct.
specific because that's very. Did you see it at all or no?
Extra supplementary materials like
Yeah.
expansive as all hell. So
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, did you see any of it?
Saw bits and pieces of it.
Okay. And Drew, did you see it and what was your take?
alrighty, Acolyte. It's bad Star Wars that has some good stuff in it, I would say. It definitely falls into that wheelhouse of modern day Star Wars where it's trying to take other elements, other lesser tread elements of the franchise and exploring them.
Mm-hmm.
They don't do it well in this one. There's pacing issues more than anything else. I'd say probably one of the biggest problems, aside from just the fact that the characters have no real. They have things that they want to do. The characters have motive, but they don't go about them very well. The show doesn't do a very good job conveying what those motivations are, and when it comes to tracking context, cause and effect, it's all out of whack. Episodes happen out of what we feel out of sequence.
Okay.
Not even like an intentional, what would be an example? How Quentin Tarantino tells a story out of order, non-sequential order.
Mm-hmm.
Acolyte does this, but I don't think that they were aware that that was the thing. And it just makes you as the reader just have kind of go, all right, I guess there's no real context until the end.
So you're pretty much saying that it's not telling the story like it's supposed to. It's just doing bits and pieces, like skipping over certain aspects that's very important.
It introduces elements that they don't explore. They introduce an idea. What if there was a way where you could create life with using just the Force, like a whole being at a person's body, right? Some miracle, miraculous birth type of thing. They don't explore it. It happens. It's a thing. It's there.
Right.
But just any deeper exploration, I forget that.
Right.
When it comes to the villain, because without spoiling, because I don't know if you or Seven have seen it its entirety.
I've seen it.
The villain motivations, they flip flop. It's the one character that we do think who's going to be the villain. I'm trying to tread lightly. I don't want to spoil too much.
I feel you on that. For those that really want to see it, I don't know if I'm spoiling it at this point.
If you want to, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to see it, but you have a character Soul. He's a Jedi, right? They're not consistent with the characters and their motivations, and I think that's one of the biggest problems. Like you said, they get you to swing, and then they don't do a full swing. They kind of bunt a lot.
Yeah. They set something up that they then don't tread. They just talk about it, and then it's like, all right, exposition's done. On with the next.
Yeah. And even the concept of, if this is a spoiler, oh well. But there's a concept of creating. Okay, put it this way: one of the characters, they're said they're two, but they're like one, and they play with this idea, but they don't. Are they two separate people, or are they one person? Did you create these people out of nothing? And of course, Disney tries to, within diversity, try to push certain themes that I find if you're gonna go there completely. Don't
I don't
play
care
with
if you're going to do the thing that you're doing, but just explain it well. Make it interesting. Pitch me on it.
Yeah.
Give me a vested reason to give a shit. But they don't do that, and it's just the Star Warsy and magical things are happening, and then it's on to the next.
So Dean Charles Chapman, he plays Torben. One of the few. They don't give the Wookiee too much light, and they don't give Torben. Remember, he was the one that was tormented Jedi.
Which one was he again?
He begs
See
for
the guy
his
that was
own
meditating for 5 years?
Yes.
Yeah. On paper he seemed interesting, but they did nothing with that character, so it's all right, Torben was just doing his thing, I guess.
Right.
And then Torben went to sleep for 10 years in the training facility. Okay.
Right.
I guess.
So let me say something positive. Fight scenes were really good.
Fight scenes were dope. They need to keep that action choreography. Whoever did the fight choreography for it, they need to stay on.
They were
great.
The effects were good. The sets were decent. I mean, they didn't give me anything more in the Star Wars universe, but I think there was nothing bad you could say about it. It wasn't bad. It wasn't amazing. The assistant.
There's fire. Remember when the fire breaks out on the ship?
Right. Yeah.
And you see fire in space. I'm like, that shouldn't. Effects didn't know. That's not how science works. No, but it's in sections. It looks good. I don't think that the budget was what they told us what it was for the show, though.
Right.
Someone's lying. I'm sorry.
So I would like to move on, but I would like to move on saying this. The writing wasn't there, and you just can't call racism every time something doesn't go well. It's bad.
Sometimes it's a bad script can be just a bad script. Sometimes bad casting happens. It's a lot of things. This is what I'm learning as a novice in the industry. A lot of things go wrong, and when you get films that make it and they're hits, a lot goes right.
You're right.
Right? That was a very simple, dumb, tautological statement, but it's like literally, a lot of factors are in play to make a series work, and if one or two things go wrong, you kind of get a crap show. It can happen.
Right.
But it's Acolyte, ugh.
Right.
Ugh. It wasn't racism, it was just a bad show. I mean, there are people who are going to not like it. They just saw, what's her name? What's her bucket?
Oh,
the main character chick?
Amanda Steinberg.
Angela Steinberg. They
Almost
saw her and they just decided, screw this, I don't care. I get it.
Everything
I
that she
get it,
gets
but-
into, have you noticed, has been attached to some sort of racism? Like when she did the Hunger Games.
Oh, okay.
That was the film that not only shed a light into her, I don't know when to say stardom, because she's not really a star, but she got some fame, and she became a little activist for a little while, because the character that she played in that film was, in the book, that person was white, and some people were really upset that you had this biracial girl play that character. So it's interesting that, again, and she's done several films in between, but again, a big role, a big opportunity in a sci-fi franchise, all of a sudden now there's another thing. So I don't know, Amanda. You're attracting some kind of
I'm
energy.
going to take my BE off and put the tinfoil hat on for 2 seconds. This is part of Amanda Steinberg's marketing thing. Every contract where she's in a film, there has to be some controversial crap attached to it.
Right.
This is her brand now. From the time, imagine this, Seven. Put yourself in you, Davion. Imagine that you're a young actor. Okay. From the time that you were 12, 13, every role that you've been on, I can't say every role, but the biggest roles that you've been on have had some weird, racist, social media component to it. After a while, that kind of just becomes like
Your niche.
your bag. It's the niche. It's what gets you numbers. And Amanda Steinberg, I don't know the girl, but I've noticed that when she does take on a role, it's like very much desperate for what I would think is white approval. That's kind of what I think this is rooted in. Right? When she was Rue in Hunger Games, there was a bunch of idiots online that went and said, "Oh, Rue's black." She's black in the book, I'm pretty sure, how they describe her. But since idiot's will idiot, they were online going in on the kid.
Okay.
And this, because the kid's mixed, was a real blow to her. She's been trying to get herself in ever since, and that's why she takes on roles where she's like the romance interest of a Nazi.
Oh, yeah.
That's why she's every time when, they clowned Acolyte, so she went online and then started twerking. I'm like, this is someone who's very much ingrained and zoned in on the social media component of her career.
Gotcha.
And every time she picks a role, there's always going to be some new crap that comes up.
That is
So-
deep.
It is what it is. That's my own little theory, but whatever. It is what it is.
Wow. But that's a lot. But that's, that makes you think there.
I can't get in with white Hollywood, so I'm going to twerk and be mad and be super duper wokety talk about every project, whether it has anything to do with it or not.
See,
That's the angle.
this is a perfect segue to Blink Twice, but I need you guys to see it for me to talk about
I
it.
have to watch it first. Did you watch it?
I saw it. Yes. So let's do that next week, because I just feel some movies doesn't matter if we all saw it or not, but that's one where it's like, privilege is nice.
So without giving spoilers, what's the tie-in? What's the connection?
Well,
What is-
the tie-in is, it's very interesting to see people that create content that's supposed to have a certain level of awokeness, if that's a thing. And then when you look at their life, their silence, towards political stuff, social stuff, and then whom they decide to network with, have relationships with. It's not consistent to what they try to sell the public sometimes.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like just convenient activism, convenient social justice stuff. Yeah, it's rampant. It's a thing.
But the thing that made it really poignant was you could really focus more on the have and the have-nots, the obviously men that are toxic and men that are toxic that have money. But then the twist at the end was like, but then aren't you just like, and I'll leave it at that. You got to see it, and when you see it, you'll be like, oh, I understand what he's saying. Like
I guess, Seven, but I'm going to add my own little extra component in it. Sure. Evil, toxic, wealthy men exist, and just about all those men have wives. Or spouses, or someone that they go. So again, if we're going to go that route, we live in a world full of evil men. Yes, and they all got wives and mamas who are all down with it, just like that. Wives, daughters, nieces, aunties that are just in on the bag as them because it's convenient. Evil's convenient. We get it, ladies.
And you know what? You just summed up.
Own what you are.
You just summed up the film.
I did? Oh, I'm dope. I'm still dope.
You're still dope. You're still dope. But again. Nice. But I tell you, there are a lot of good little giblets there as far as the editing, and I'd say the first half of it was good storytelling, in my opinion. Okay. But we'll see. So let's go to something else. Amazon, Rings of Power. I started it and I unplugged. I couldn't do it.
Everyone says that. How did it get a second season? How did the show get a second season? Everyone hated it.
Yeah.
It might have been a part of the contract. I haven't. That's the thing. Where see no evil, see no evil. I know you know nothing. That might have been to answer my own question. I think that's when some shows get picked up. I've heard that this is a thing where it's automatically set for these two seasons.
So it can be.
They don't know how the audience will gauge it. It's all right, we're gonna pick you guys up for at least 2.
Right.
So that's part two of that.
When they feel that this could possibly be big money, they'd rather get you in that low figure for that first, you know what I mean? Because if you just do one and it's a hit, now, we got to renegotiate.
Right.
So
that's
helps.
The best case scenario, yeah.
So, you know what? This is a little off, but it's on. Are we tired of movies like Twisters 11?
Okay. I'm going to answer that question.
Okay, please.
Okay. I saw Twister.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's Twisters.
No.
Yeah, plural now. The first one was Twister.
Oh.
Yeah.
Twisters is the new one.
This is the sequel.
Right.
So, with Twisters, I don't know who came up with the idea to make a sequel. It didn't make sense, especially when you don't have the original cast or mention the original cast from the film. You know, I'm one of those people, you should have left it alone. That's one of the films you should have left alone. Dealt with Twister. Twisters should have just...
Well, did you see Twisters? Did you see the new one?
I saw bits. I'm still watching parts of it. I'm a little bit disappointed.
And again,
it's a no, but I don't like it. No, I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, without going into it, I don't want to comment because I didn't see it, but
and now
it's a natural occurrence. It's the fact that you even made one film where the monster is a natural occurrence. You definitely shouldn't have a sequel. It should be a one and done.
Well, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing about
Okay, I want to hear your point of view.
All right, it goes like so. Twisters, plural, is another entry in a long list of, hey, what did numbers back in the 90s, circa early 2000s? Right? We have no originality because we're Hollywood. So let's go in and take some older property and we'll make a sequel of it. Ghostbusters. What's the Eddie Murphy one?
Coming to America 2.
Another well, he made two. There's like another one. It's Coming to America.
Axel
And
Foley.
Beverly Hills Cop. Movies that nobody needed. I'm sorry, we didn't need it.
Wait, I'm going to stop you right there.
Go ahead.
Coming to America 2, we did not need.
We didn't need that. Yeah, we didn't need that one. I'm for damn sure certain. We didn't need Coming to the first one's golden. The first one's perfection. Okay,
Right.
We didn't need a sequel. But it's like, hey, but it made numbers. We could probably get people to go see it if for no other reason, just nostalgia.
Remember, that came out during the pandemic. Everybody watched it on their computers.
Yeah, at home.
So part 2 to me was horrible. It felt like a cash grab for all the celebrities that wasn't able to get work at the time.
Yeah, cash grab. So that's what these are. When you get the umpteenth Bad Boys with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence trying to keep up,
I gotta justify that one.
All right, I guess there's got to be at least one. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I didn't mind it because I like what they're transitioning the film to. I like the fight scene or the bang bang shoot 'em up John Wick style that they did. Give up to my boy Reggie. I forgot his real name, but I did an interview with you.
That was a good moment, but at the same time, we didn't need a whole film for that moment.
No, we didn't.
Well, if they had one more idea for it, if they had a couple good ideas for what could be like their last hurrah, go for it. And it's Michael Bay. Michael Bay knows how to shoot action shit.
He knows how to blow stuff up.
He knows how to blow stuff up. He knows how to manipulate a camera to get those cool, high-octane, all-American action movie type of shit in it. I get it. But it's like, it's still a cash grab.
Yeah,
and that one did numbers. That one actually was like popular.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And actually, you know what? I learned a little something about this stuff. So The Crow, which we know they just came out with something, and there've been a lot of. I think everybody knows the first one. They know the second fail, and they know this one. But you know that there are several other Crows.
Yeah, there's several other Crows and a series.
Yeah.
They all sucked. Outside of that, they all sucked. The first one is a legend, though.
But do you know why they kept doing them?
Cash grab.
Made in them, yeah.
No, the rights. So the person that created
rights
it,
issue.
they have to keep making this film,
Or they lose the rights.
or they lose the rights. So we will keep
Gotcha.
seeing bad Crows until they give up, or they knock it out the park.
Yeah, I think that's how we got Fan Four Stick.
Now, I will say this.
Oh,
The
really?
new current one, I understood where they was going with it, but I didn't need a Machine Gun Kelly Crow. Stick with the Gothic. We don't know what that was.
It's a modern take on the Crow. I knew it was going to happen at some point, even though I think it's completely unnecessary. But this was what Davion just aptly put. This was who was this Crow version of the Crow? I always call it Trap Rap. Machine Gun Kelly Crow is definitely applicable. I always call it like meth head trap rapper, like Crow. Let me have all the tattoos and crap on my face. Let me have my obligatory light-skinned black girlfriend in the background somewhere. She can die, but it's still going to be like, that look. Yeah. Yeah. Machine Gun Kelly Crow. Yeah.
And you know what? I didn't.
I needed a name for it, and that was the one. Machine Gun Kelly Crow.
I didn't even think about it, but yeah, if they tried to do, because times have changed. We didn't have the goth emo stuff today. Everything has changed. So would that have worked with the same type of? Are there goth kids anymore?
Yes.
Yeah, dude. Yes.
So then why didn't they do that?
It's like, okay, the original Crow, right?
Right.
This is like the comic and the film.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely dealt with more of like, when it comes to its aesthetic, it's like look. It was always goth, very like grunge type of centric. But for some reason, how they did this, even down to the actor, Bill Skarsgård, I think that's the guy that plays him.
Yeah.
He's a good actor. If you put him in an action movie, I think you could pull it off. But the fact is, like, this one is just so of its type, down to the corny line. The lines are supposed to sound like song lyrics when they talk. I think that's what they were going for from the trailer. They tried, because they did it in the first one. It can't rain all the time. Stuff like that. dialogue that sounds like song lyrics. They do that in this trailer, and it sounds like corny, early, like 2010s emo music. And I'm like, it doesn't work, y'all. It's out of its time. It's not going to work. You are so beautifully broken. I'm like, that's corny. That was emo back in my day. Stop.
Yes. Yes.
That was emo as well back in my day. No. But
I'm a creep.
This is a guy who like Hybrid Theory. Okay, Linkin Park is one of my all-time favorite albums. You're making me want to throw up with these lyrics. Stop it.
Wow.
And let me wave that one black strand of hair that's blocking my eye.
Yeah, I can't talk trash. I was a scene kid. I had my hair straight and stuff, but it's like, come on, man. Come on, man.
I ain't no hair, but
What is this? So New Crow crap. Yeah. It's one of those movies, the original. It's of its time, but it's like right in the time and place it needs to be. It was filmed right how it needed to be. And unfortunately, Brandon didn't get to live to like see the result of it, like how it would have like an impact on people. Mm-hmm. That's cool, but like don't tarnish that with trap rap and this. Well, no, man.
Oh, another rumor mill. I don't know if this is true or not, but they're working on another La Bamba.
La Bamba.
Wait, like Richie Valens?
Yeah.
Like a biopic?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm like,
I guess they're gonna do another one of those, all right.
But
I never heard that.
But why? I mean, it's a great film. Like the one that they did was they did a good job. I'm like, what could be missing?
Because we haven't made a modern one yet. That's what it's like a time thing. 10, 20 years, it's like, okay, we could probably get another remake into that one. Let's give it a shot. They're making I'm actually surprised they haven't tried to make another Michael Jackson biopic. It's been about 20.
It's coming out.
There we go. Okay, there we go. Right on time. There we go. I knew it. We're overdue. This is what we do. This is what we do.
They need to do a Prince biopic.
While I agree, Prince kept all his stuff under like heavy lock and key. I'm willing to bet he has like some type of clause that says y'all can never make a biopic about my life.
Right.
I wouldn't be halfway surprised.
Right.
Tinfoil hat on, but I wouldn't be halfway surprised.
Well, all right. So since we're gonna go with the grabbing of money, Inside Out 2.
That made sense.
I saw the movie and psychologically where they grew and developed the characters did kind of make sense. It was a money grab, but the story that they were telling and the growth in which the writing actually, it kind of, as far as telling the story, you go within the mind of a child, and now you're going to that preteen age, that teenager time of growth, like 13, 14. It really made sense. And someone that studied psychology, I appreciate the writing in that film. I can't be mad. It's a decent story.
Right.
Yeah.
And
when did the first one come out?
Huh?
When did the first one come out?
I think 2015 or 16.
Okay, so quite a few years ago. Like more than 4, right? So with the whole Herman's Head premise, like if you had someone who was a child,
thank you,
and then you wanted to follow, it's a good reason. If you were gonna have a sequel, it's as good a reason as any. This is when they were a child. This is when they're in that adolescent teen era.
Right.
You can get away with that. The third one's gonna be where do they stick the landing?
Yeah.
Like Toy Story, it got to 3, it did it right, and then they started like going off the rails with 4, and it's like, see, y'all had the formula, but no.
And by the way, Drew, I appreciate you because I was looking for the name of that sitcom for so long, and I couldn't remember what it was. Herman's Head.
Herman's Head, yeah. That's what I'm pretty sure that's. If nothing else, that's where they got the idea.
Yeah.
I think that was like a rough reference to that.
And there's like a couple shows that have played with that same thing. I think Herman's Head is probably like the second.
That was the one that immediately came to mind when I think of the premise of the character.
Yeah, because Herman's Head had a full cast of emotions in his head versus I think there was another one that had like 1 or 2 people.
Yeah. So there was like the